Hello, you incredible friends. This is your pal Edwards here speaking, and welcome to a legendary interview with Edward. And with our interviews, we interview absolute personal and business legends from across the world. And we've got one of my new wonderful friends from awesome Sydney, Australia. She's a very powerful lady. She's very smart. She's an author, mentor, speaker, and educator. And she's a property buyer's agent. And she bought her first property when she was 17. When she was a teenager, it's incredible. And I can tell you what, she is a nice, amazing lady. Diane Klem-Goode, how are you doing today?
Hi, Ed. I'm doing really well. Thank you for having me today. How are you?
I'm really good, and I'm extra happy because we've got you on our show. And Diane, can you tell us very quickly a bit about you and how you help people win in today's world?
Okay, Ed. What I do is I'm a buyer's agent, so I help my clients buy properties. I take all the stress out of them and I educate them on, to me, I believe property investing should be a diversified portfolio. It should cover both residential and commercial. And not only that, you sort of take the residential side and you diversify in that as well, whether it's granny flat strategy, building duplexes, subdivisions, room by room rentals. You look at a different few strategies in that as well. And then with the commercial side, you do the same. You look at your industrial, your shop fronts, your offices. You sort of pick 2 or 3 different areas you can diversify into as well. Because for granted now, with the economy the way it is, I think business is going to change a lot. And I think offices won't be utilised as much as they were, as people are now working from home. So if you've got a really heavy portfolio in offices, then that would be, you will be feeling the pain a bit, and I think that will go on for a while. So whereas in a diversified commercial portfolio, you're basically spreading your risk. So you're looking at your growth plus income, your neutral. You've got to have a strategic plan. So that's when I sit down with my clients, we work out that strategic plan. You must know where you are, where you're starting. You have to really drill down on, what's your assets, what's your liabilities, where you can cut expenses, where you can increase your income. So you know that, then you plan out. You can do like a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, or a 5-year plan. Start from the end where you want to be, and we work it back. And then we then look into, okay, where are we starting? Residential, commercial. So it's a plan. It's going to take you time, but it gives you direction. If you don't have direction and some goals to set and work towards, then you're sort of floundering a little bit. So I come in and give them direction as well. I've been investors, as you said, since I was 17. So I've bought property, I've bought units, houses, commercial. So I've made some great decisions, some medium decisions, some poor ones. I've made a few mistakes along the way. I've lost some money along the way. So I come with a wealth of knowledge and experience. And so because I've done it, I take great joy in my clients, especially starting. I really like that, and seeing them diversify into another area. That's where I get joy.
Oh, that's incredible, Diane. Great overview. I think it's incredible. And I was going to say, let's say someone doesn't own a property yet, or they want to buy their first property, taking it right back to the origins, the starting out. When people are starting out in their property journey, what are some of your top tips and suggestions to help them really succeed?
When they're starting out, what I would do is start with your budget. Must start with your budget, and start with your own personal profit and loss. Know what you've got, what is really an asset, and what are your liabilities. Trim all the fat, take everything out you don't need. Get yourself really back to basics. Set up some really good your banking systems, your holding account. Get your savings account going, your living account, get that all sorted out and get that all automated. If you're on a flat wage, then just say it goes in on this day, on the 10th of this day, the 11th, then everything's distributed into the other accounts. So there's a saying I like that's money follows management, and it's so true. If you know where your money is going, if you know where you're sitting right now, like every day you should know what your bottom line is, where you are sitting. So I would start with that first. I would then educate yourself. I would find some mentors or join some groups and go to seminars, but just get enough information that basically. You might not know where you want to go, but different strategies, where people are going, and surround yourself with a team that's like-minded, that's going to try new things, or someone that's doing what you want, and you lift each other up and have an accountability group. If this is what you want, then okay, these are the steps where you're going to have to go. You need to look at your time management as well. Like if you're working full-time, you've got a business, where do you find that time? Where do you need to allocate like a certain block of time if you can, and that's it. You have to go all in. If that's how I would start, just pure education and being very, very well organised.
And if someone wants to really shortcut that and skip a lot of it, they can just go to you, can't they, Diane, and say, Diane, help me out. So they can use you to shortcut that journey, can't they?
Oh, of course. That's my passion, is taking someone, especially that hasn't started, to actually but to teach them, not to say, okay, I'll go and find your property and you pay me the fee. I want to educate them along the way too, and I want to educate them in all the different areas and work together as a team, because I like the fact that I build long-term relationships with my clients. I don't want to just, here you go, here's the property, take the money and that's it, I've got to go and find someone else. I'd rather build that relationship, that teamwork, and then, introduce them to other clients as well. And then they get their own little meeting groups that they all support each other as well, because you might want to go down the road of, say a retail property, someone else is at buying childcare centres. Well, then, you might say, I might buy a childcare centre next. So, introduce to them, and then they can have the connection that way as well and learn. We all learn from each other.
Oh, I think it's so well said. And I think it's amazing the depth and breadth of experience you have, and the fact that you bought your first property when you were 17. I think it's just absolutely incredible. And just for the sake of our wonderful and very attractive viewers out there, my big advice to you, and this is my Australian Persian brain at work, if you want to skip all the hard work, just add Diane on LinkedIn and go, Diane, can you help me? Is that the simplest way to win?
Yes, it is. It is. I don't know what it is. Property and finances have just been in my cells since I was a child. I've forever saved, and I don't know what it is. It's just my passion. And then you top of that with, helping people as well. Fantastic.
And I get it, and you've said it well. And this is where I think you and I get along well for a lot of reasons. And I think one of the reasons is that you and I are very similar. We're both, if you look at both what I do and especially what you do, Diane, mm-hmm. you can tell we're both following our passions, and that's what makes us so great at what we do.
It is. It's not even a day of work, really. It's just pure, I don't know, it's just pure joy. Like, I love not just the helping the clients as well and getting to know them, but I love searching. I love the analysis that goes with it, and my favourite part is the negotiation part. I love getting into the nitty-gritty, what we're going to, working with the client, what we want to achieve, what outcome, what do we want included, what price we want. And I love, it's like a dance. It's that final stage. And then once it all comes together, celebration, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Now, you said negotiation. Now, I know you're obviously a property pro. However, a lot of people, negotiation is a huge thing that concerns everyone, right? Mm-hmm. As a negotiator, what are some of your top tips and thinking when it comes to effective negotiating? And I mean that more in a general sense, not so much a property sense.
Okay, in a general sense, I think to have an outcome where everyone wins, that everyone, so with the property, you get it sort of at the price you want, the seller gets it at the price that they want. It's a bit of give and take. It's a bit of leeway, sort of, and the real estate agent gets his commission. But you don't go in, like a genuine heart negotiation, firm, but kind. I think if you're going combative with any negotiation, it can be offensive and it can put the other person off. So if you're going combative, they go combative. So you're just locking horns. So it's better off if you've done your research before you negotiate, and you sort of know the reasons why they're selling. I mean, I suppose with property, and what the outcomes that they need or they want as well. So you sort of have all that grounding, and you think, okay, so you sort of know your boundaries, you can stretch a little bit. and sort of, you come away feeling good. You come away with the outcome you want. Sometimes you're going to have to walk away from any negotiation in life that, if you can't agree, that's okay. It's okay to go on to the next one because that wasn't the deal for you.
I love how you put it. I love how you said at the start, and I couldn't agree with you more. The worst thing you can do is go into a negotiation with gun blazing or, the middle finger stuck in the air, because and people do it all the time, don't they? They go into negotiations like thinking they're driving a truck through the wall, don't they? And then they get all surprised why everyone hates them and no one will work with them.
It's true. It's true. It doesn't make you feel good. If it doesn't make you feel good, and if it doesn't sit in your core values of how you treat people, even, if you wouldn't treat your loved ones like that, well, don't go and do that to someone else. It's a respect thing. What you're going to put out, you're going to get back. You can be kind and firm. You know what the outcome is, so you can, but you've got to, there's no need to be brash. I do see a lot in the industry, and you get a lot more, there's a saying that, you do get a lot more out of people if you treat them well, because they want to treat you well back. And that's, especially in the real estate industry, reputation is key. And your connections and what those connections can bring to you that the public won't ever see or ever get offered. That is, I always think your character and your name is the most valuable asset you're ever going to have.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. And again, obviously, I know you're a property specialist and a great one at that. But again, every industry, your reputation is everything. And isn't it true that we live in Sydney, right? Of course, I think a population of 4.6 million, probably like a small, medium city probably a medium-sized city by global standards. Isn't it funny that even in a city full of millions of people, if you get a bad reputation, everyone finds out about it pretty quickly, don't they?
Well, it does. Like, people talk in any industry and in any, friendship group. People talk. If you get a bad experience with someone, they think, okay, and they will back off from you. They will. And there's no need for that. There's no need to, sometimes you can't, it's not going to be the deal, you can't wait for that. That's okay, but you can walk away respectfully. And so there's a saying, you always leave your doors open. You never ever slam that door, ever. But you just don't know. You don't know, whether like in my situation, it's the property you want, or they've got the contacts you need if it's business, the contacts you need, it's just, I had the most amazing experience this week that I'm in this elite leaders group, and we're in there supporting each other. We've all got businesses or people trying to start up. So we're bouncing off each other, and it's been the most amazing experience. But just from that, from a speaker that came to present to us in that, like, he's taking me under his wing and he's going to mentor me even further to the next level. So that's a man that's very highly successful. And he would do that to someone that he doesn't really even know. Now that's a person I want to be around, because that is a genuine person. So I sort of think in anything in life, you lead yourself the best, conduct yourself the best way you can, be genuine and be kind and honest. You don't know what doors will open up. You just don't. And then in turn, you can do the same. You can mentor people. You can help people. Great relationships both ways. As a saying, you help up and you help below. And then, together there's a chain, and we all reach the top.
I got to say, I love your attitudes. Like, you have really unpacked, I think, the spirit of community very well. And I mean, you're kind, you're strong, you get helping up, helping down. Diane, where did these traits come from? Where did you develop this understanding? I find it absolutely fascinating.
Where did I think, I don't know. I've always been a giver. Like, I started off mentoring friends and their friends. And it was just simply because I'd read books and bought some properties. And I just found it fascinating that people just didn't manage their money well and didn't know. I had a girlfriend saying, oh, I don't need to budget, because she's pretty tight with her money. But when she sort of looked at what she was spending on what it was on, she was a bit like, oh, she was a bit shocked. So I don't know. I've just always been a giver. It's just been naturally, even as a friend, I give. And it's fascinating because it's only till now that I've sort of become someone that will receive. because I was like, busy helping everyone else, but now I'm just learning to say, okay, I need help in this area. I need help to actually ask for help, I suppose, because I've always been very strong and independent. But I realise now that it's okay. It's not a weakness to ask for help. It's actually a strength, which to me just blows my mind. So to give it now, just learning to give and take, and it's a beautiful thing, I think.
Oh, Diane, I think it's incredible. I've got to say, I love what we've spoken about already. As we bring this incredible, legendary interview to a close, what are some of your closing thoughts for our listeners around the world as we enter the new post-corona world?
I would say, I think it's going to be quite refreshing. I think this period's made us sit back, reassess. For me personally, I've reassessed relationships, I've reassessed business, and it's opened up just new opportunities. It's made me think that should my income and that sort of be from the one field, one area, and made me look at different income streams and different structures. So I think at the moment, if coming out right now, I do believe in doubling down on personal development, double down on all your networking and all your support for everyone else around you, and people that you don't even really know, pick that phone up. I had a lovely gentleman that was a solicitor rang me up just to check in how I was, what I was doing. So that was really kind. So that sort of set the ball for me. I thought, oh, that's something nice to do. So I think we're going to come out stronger. It's going to take time. Of course, it's going to take time, and you have to be more flexible and more fluid, not so rigid in the way you do things. Look up and look out more, not just stuck in. I was very stuck in being busy. And when I look back, and I sort of thought, I was busy, but not as maybe as structured I could have been. And just to look at different opportunities. We've all got to adjust. There's going to be a lot of people staying at home, working from home. I think a lot of corporations are going to cut their expenses that way. But I think it's a great time for reflection, where we really are at and really where we want to be. I think we've got to really look at that. And, do you need all the possessions in the world? Do you need all the status? Because for me, it's been very rewarding as far as I think we've gone back to basics with family connections have been built up stronger, because you are now it's not in everyone's out, everyone's home, and you have to have the family meals and you have to have the conversations, which is good. I think hang in there, especially as a business person, or if you are looking for work, but just personal development. Keep working on yourself, keep improving yourself, and you'll be amazed what's going to happen.
Oh, that's incredible. And one, before you go as well, just one side note as well. I wanted to ask this question before as well, and I get asked this a lot from our community, with commercial property such as offices in cities and that sort of thing. Now, we all know that's going to change, or it already has changed. And we know that in the future, more people are going to be working from home. How do you see it impacting? Is it a minor impact? Is it a huge impact? What do you think it's going to be like for offices in the future? Are they going to be smaller with more people working from home? What's your vision for the world like that? What do you think is going to happen?
I think, when they can, they'll be working from home. There's always going to be a need, for face-to-face meetings. I sort of think that room hires, like boardroom rooms, I can see people working from home and then going into the city and have blocked out a room for a day, and then they'll have continuous meetings all day, then they'll go back home. I think that's going to be one area that will take off. And probably from the larger offices, I think down to, there might be people that do like to go into office in the city and work in the city. So I think it's going to go into more shared office space. I think it's going to be, but it's not going to affect everyone, in like offices, like your specialists, your doctors. There's certain fields that, no, you've got to go, patients have to go in. There's certain fields. But I think there's going to be a big movement back to, working from home. And I think the market's just going to change. It's going to be more service offices, the smaller square footage, I think. And like in the room heights with a nice table and that's presentable to see clients. I think that's the way But, you know, we'll bounce back. We always bounce back. That's what I'm saying. You just need to be a bit more flexible. You know, just look now, okay, it's a changed world. What's the next step? And just sort of forward think a bit more.
Diane, I got to say, I love your views. Thank you so much. And as well, how can people get in contact with you? So I'm sure from the many thousands of people that are going to watch their video, they're going to say, I like that, Diane. How can people get in contact with you and reach out to you?
Okay, I'm on LinkedIn. Just look me up on LinkedIn. There's my email there, website, my mobile phone. Feel free, ring me. I'll answer my phone 24/7 practically. So, yeah, so I'm here. Even if you've got questions, there's no such thing as a dumb question, or even if you don't even know where to start, that's okay. We just have a chat. You know, I like to have a chat. So just call me if I can help you in any capacity, whether it's just someone to lean on, whether it's finances or moving forward. We can always work everything out.
Diane, it's an absolute pleasure. And to our wonderful, beautiful and sexy viewers around the world, you've seen another legendary interview with Edward with the awesome Diane Klem-Goode. So make sure you connect with her on LinkedIn. Just as well, when you connect with her, tell her that you watch this interview so she knows where you're coming from. And I can tell you now, Diane's an amazing lady and the kindness radiates on every level. Diane, last final word to you. I just want to say a big thank you on behalf of us for joining us on our legendary interview with Edward.